So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the UK government enters endgame in European research standoff. So this is about Horizon. So the UK government has begun what may be its final effort to resolve a dispute over the UK's membership of the EU's 100 billion Horizon research. And isn't it ironic that we wanted Brexit, Liz Truss, ardent Brexiteer, still wants us to be part of Horizon? That's a bit embarrassing. Truss has written to Brussels urging it to end persistent delays in delivering on its promise to allow British access to the EU research collaborations. It might not have been Truss, it looks like it was the UK, but I don't know who actually wrote it. Truss accuses the European Commission of politicising scientific cooperation. Says the person who's politicising the tensions in Northern Ireland and the Northern Ireland Protocol. Ironic, isn't it? Some experts say the move is the start of the UK's withdrawal from the programme, which seems very likely given the fact that we're not going to be a part of it. It's too late at this point, I think. Professor James Wilston, the Director of Research on Research Institute, sorry, I thought that was a typo there, at Sheffield University, told BBC News that he believes there will be no resolution, and I agree with him there. At which point there will be a new Prime Minister will announce the UK's own international research programme known as Plan B. Very, very... what a name. Our Plan B to Horizon is called Plan B. Very creative. Shouts out to whichever civil servant came up with that line. Honestly, pure genius. Just chef's kiss there. Brilliant. Our Plan B is Plan B. Great. The only thing that today's announcement does is offer a clearer path towards a pivot from the UK's association to the Horizon Europe. Plan B, which is a hastily cobbled together set of alternative funding arrangements intended to be a substitute for some, but no means of all. Of what's being lost, he says, and this is the prof speaking here because it's true. It won't replace all of the funding that we've lost, given the Horizon program is 100 billion euros, and the fact that the UK researchers did well out of the Horizon program because we have got a lot of top universities. But the simple fact is the money won't be enough that we're offering. There's a reason why it's a collaborative effort. It's a 100 billion euro program. The UK puts in about 2 billion a year, I think, something like that. So you can tell why the UK researchers are desperate to be part of Horizon. But Plan B is not going to solve it. Plus, the prestige that comes with these grants is crazy. That's what scientists, it's, as well as money, scientists require prestige. Who are you going to pick on your team? The most prestigious ones, the ones that get the top grants, the ones that show they can do the work, or the ones that get these crappy British grants that no one really knows or cares about. The latest move by the government is the start of a 30-day formal consultation period to resolve the issue, after which a lengthy legalistic arbitration process can begin if agreement is not reached. Now, the problem is I can't see us winning an arbitration, purely because from what I remember reading about it, because I covered it previously, we had an agreement in principle to join the Horizon programme. An agreement in principle doesn't mean a lot. It means if certain criteria are met, we should be able to join the Horizon programme. Now, of course, the Northern Ireland Protocol was part of the withdrawal agreement that we agreed with the EU as well. So it's going to start unpicking everything if we start taking the legal route, because we're the ones in the wrong here, most definitely. I'd be semi-surprised if the EU were in the wrong about the Horizon stuff, given that it was an agreement in principle, unless in the trade and cooperation agreement it sets out the very specific things the UK has to do to be a part of Horizon. It'd be quite interesting. But even if we win in arbitration, it's very unlikely that we could kind of get the research grants in this kind of trench of funds, this current setup. And the other problem is that some of the scientists have already left the UK and gone to the EU. What happens to them? Are they compensated, or what happens at that point? Are they allowed to come back, or it's a big mess, effectively. What the UK's done is act too late when it comes to this stuff. It's not surprising, given that most Tories are on holiday still. That after Professor Wilston says after the 30-day period, 30 days are up, there will be no resolution. And I think he's right. Our newly anointed Prime Minister can say that they've tried everything, but the intransigent EU won't budge. And you can tell this is not his first rodeo, because he knows what's going to happen. He knows how this is going to end. David Lammy, the Labour's Foreign Secretary, said the EU and the UK both need to show more flexibility. I mean, this is classic centrism. Oh, both sides are to blame here. Both sides need to be more flexible. Well, one side's clearly in the wrong here, and I don't think it's the EU in this regard, but described the government as having reckless and law-breaking approach. I mean, sure, that's true, but at the same time, why do both sides need to show flexibility here? I'll slow my S's here, but why do both sides need to show any flexibility? One side is clearly in the wrong here, Lammy. It's kind of, I just find the dude embarrassing at this point. Instead of continuing the pattern of starting rows with the EU to appeal to their Tory base, the next Prime Minister should sit down with all parties to ease tension and find agreement in the national interest. I mean, that's not going to happen, mate. A Commission spokesman previously said the EU continued to recognise the mutual benefit in cooperation in science, research and innovation, nuclear research and space, but he added there had been serious difficulties in the implementation of the withdrawal agreement and parts of the trade and cooperation agreement, and look forward to prompt resolution of these. Because let's not forget here that the Horizon Agreement is enshrined within the trade and cooperation agreement. So if the UK look to start picking holes in the Horizon programme and the fact that we should be there, the EU can start picking legal holes as well and say you haven't upheld parts of your agreement, so maybe the agreement in principle around Horizon is null and void because you haven't upheld the other things you were meant to uphold. And I don't know, I think it will go to a judge in the ECJ afterwards, after arbitration, but it depends who the arbitrators are and what kind of viewpoints they take up. I don't think it's going to end too well for us. I think the professor they quoted, Wilson, I think is right. It's going to be a big pivot away from us joining the Horizon programme and setting up our own botch scheme. Because let's not forget the farmer subsidies, right, which should have been a slam dunk. Pretty easy stuff here. The UK's botched that already. That's something I've covered before, where some of those subsidies might not get to the farmers for another few more years, when they should be really rolling out now, or at least over the last couple of years. So what you can guess from this is the Horizon programme will be worse than that, because the UK never imagined that the EU would kick us out of the Horizon programme. So if you think the farm subsidy is a mess, this is going to be a lot worse. And we already have a lot of scientists that are leaving the UK to kind of take up their research in the EU under kind of the Horizon programme. And I would not be surprised if it wasn't hard for them to get a visa to work in the EU. I'd be amazed if some of these countries were not offering visas. You know, if I was Germany right now, I'd be looking at some of these scientists thinking, do you know what? We need some researchers in this department or in this kind of sector. We're going to take them. If I was Germany, if I was Spain, if I was France, if I was any leading, I think Finland's leading on chemicals, for example. If I was any leading EU country that has, you know, great universities, I'd be seriously looking at which scientists you can kind of cherry pick here and saying, look, man, I'm really sorry about your country and the problems with the Horizon programme. You can continue your research here if you want to come here. We'll get you a visa, we'll get your family a visa, etc. See if we can get you some school places, and you carry on your work in whatever university that's relevant to them. That's what I'd be doing right now. But yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, we're competitors now. That's the top and bottom of it. We decide to compete with the EU, an organisation far stronger than us, financially and in other regards, and we're about to find out. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.